So, this is a story about a man and his pumpkins. So,
you know, this is called a Cinderella because it looks like Cinderella's pumpkin that her carriage was made from. And this one is a Di Chioggia. It's an edible squash from Italy, actually. And this one is called a red warty thing because it looks like a red warty thing.
And this story is not just about pumpkins, right, Mr. Doring?
That's right. You know, I've always been a wannabe farmer.
And it's also about the glory of the gourd as well, is it not?
And the harvest, it is.
Okay.
It is. It's the glory of the gourd and the harvest and my opportunity to be a wannabe farmer. Because we do have a variety of 20 different gourds and a half a dozen different pumpkins and squash, and of course we're in beautiful nature during the fall harvest.
So what got you excited about pumpkins and gourds in the first place? Why pumpkins and gourds? If one must harvest, why the pumpkin? Why the gourd?
If we just look at them, it's their unique nature. Everyone's different. They're all from different places, and you really never know what you're going to get when you plant that seed.
Amen, sister.
Amen.
Brother.
You have a mosquito.
Anything else you'd like to say about your gourds? Tell us about this process.
I have one more to show you. This is called the peanut pumpkin because it looks like peanuts and it's edible.
And it's a little gross looking too.
It's a little gross looking.
Frightening.
It is. It is. You know, the process for growing pumpkins and gourds is amazing. The scientific term is they are a cucurbit. They are a cucurbit, and they need to be pollinated. So if we look around and you can see all the different pumpkins and gourds and squash, we start them from seed in the spring, plant them in little pots about May, 200 hills. We then transplant them into the field in early June. And they grow and they vine and they run. When we started it, this 1/4 acre of plants fit on a Monroe table. Fit on a 3x8 table. And after we plant them and they do their vining and then they bloom, every one of these is the result of a bee, a honeybee, or a pollinating bug, landing on the male flower, getting covered with pollen, flying to the female flower, and transferring that pollen to the female. Every one of them came from that process. A bee pollinated 2 different flowers and made all of these pumpkins and gourds. The only way it happens.
So I understand you're a fan of the Pumpkin Fest held annually in Anamosa, Iowa.
Quite the fan of the Pumpkin Fest. That's an entirely different genre of pumpkin growing at the Pumpkin Festival. The Pumpkin Fest in Anamosa, the first weekend in October, is about the biggest pumpkin. I'm all about varieties and lots of pumpkins. The Pumpkin Fest is about who can grow the biggest pumpkin. And it is amazing. These pickups start to roll in on the first Saturday morning in October, overflowing with a pumpkin. The guy who won it last year, his pumpkin wouldn't fit in the back of a pickup. He had to bring it in on a trailer. 1,680 pounds was his pumpkin. Big pumpkins at Anamosa.
And you've got a big enthusiasm for your pumpkins, your gourds, your, what do you call them,
Cucurbits.
Your cucurbits.
My cucurbits. And I love them.
Is there anything more to say?
You know, the best part of it all is we do all this work, all this planting, weeding, watering, picking, and I worry about it just like any other farmer would, because we give them all away in the fall. All of our friends and neighbors know when the trailer and the pickup are in the driveway, come over and take whatever pumpkins and gourds you'd like to have. That's the best part.
Basically, you leave no cucurbit unturned.
Exactly! That's what I'd say. No cucurbit left untouched.
A man and his cucurbits, live
Better known as pumpkins and gourds.
from Newton, Iowa.